Hey everybody, Danny Greco here, and I want to give a little bit of a PSA about a recently or soon to be published article in the Seattle Times. Now, a little bit of background. This is all involving commission structure changes and that sort of thing. So a little bit of a background. Currently, there is a national class action lawsuit that is being brought against all the major players in the real estate industry. Keller Williams is named. Think of the big names. I'm sure everyone is included. Although Washington's actually not a state that's included in this, so that's a little interesting as well. I'll make this as brief as I can, but essentially what they're getting at is that they're alleging the industry of price fixing when it comes to listings and that sort of a thing. And ultimately what they're wanting to find is an instance where if a seller offers a cooperating buyer's agent a less than industry standard percentage to show and sell their home to a buyer, that we're somehow not promoting those listings or something like that. So what our local MLS is doing, and again, we're not even subject to this lawsuit because Washington State hasn't been named, but in just being ahead of the curve, starting October 1st, our listing forms are going to be a little bit different, and it's going to tell you the same thing. If we list a home together right now, it's going to tell you that Keller Williams, who appoints Danny Greco, is going to sell your home at a total commission of X percent, and of that total percentage, Y percentage is going to go to the cooperating buyer's agent because we've got to pay them a fee, right? Well, now this is really kind of reinforcing, hey, you don't have to pay a buyer's agent a commission. This is really kind of taking on steam, unnecessarily so, I think, because this isn't anything new. As a seller, you've always had the option of what you want to pay that cooperating buyer's agent, whether it be 10%, 5%, 0%, whatever that may be. There's going to be consequences ranging all over the board depending on what you set that percentage at. So there's never been a price fixing in place, in my opinion, of where you must list your home at. There's certainly going to be advantages and disadvantages of where you do that, but nothing in place mandating you do X, Y, or Z. So again, we're just being a step ahead of the curve. Now, what's going to be different when you're looking for a home as a consumer is those commission rates to a buyer's agent are now going to be published. So that's a little bit different because that's never been the case before. So if you're looking at a home and it's $750,000, you never knew what the buyer's agent commission was, and frankly, it really wasn't relevant, nor is it, in my opinion. But that's now going to be published. So the Seattle Times is going to come out with an article, again, if they haven't already, that this is going to lead towards brokers racing to the bottom, racing to minimize their fees, drop their fees, maybe in some cases. And I can tell you, at least in my plans and the chats I've had with other brokers, this is really a huge false narrative. This really day-to-day does not change anything in our industry other than really just kind of reinforcing or forcing us to have that conversation with both our buyers and sellers, again, about how we do get paid, which I don't have any problem doing, and I don't think any respectful, successful agent has any problem demonstrating their value. So I think the Times, as are many publications or whomever just looking for any reason to attack the industry, are going to see this and produce a less than accurate, to be generous, article about the consequences. Now, that very well could happen, and I don't doubt that there might be some people who look to do that, which of course you have to question as to why they would do that and what value to you that would bring as the consumer. But ultimately, I really don't see this having any effect on a day-to-day basis, and even could result in people making more money than they do. Not that that the issue is people making too much money, but it's just really, really short-sighted, and I think they're just kind of hooking their line onto anything that moves in the general direction they hope it does. But so it's going to be a little bit different from the consumer end. Again, I think my consumers already understand pretty much how the industry works, and if they don't, I'm happy to talk to them with how I get paid and how how it all kind of shakes down from the Keller Williams tree and that sort of thing to what I eventually make, and I don't have any problem discussing my value in relation to what those commissions are. So it's a lot to do about nothing, really, in my opinion, but I just wanted to get out in front because I know this article is going to go 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction or the false direction. So anyway, we'll see if it has any changes. But as always, like, click, subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions or anything you want to see me talk about next.